Welcome to Guide Mia. Today we're going to talk about a designer's first day on Cympha. You've joined a lab, someone told you your cases will appear in your Cympha, and this is the orientation that turns that sentence into a working setup. By the end, you'll know how your account gets approved, where your assigned cases show up, how the Cympha Agent Manager moves files between the cloud and your workstation, and how to deliver a finished design back to the customer for sign-off. The first pass takes around 15 minutes, including the agent install. After that, it's about 2 minutes per case. Follow along at your desk, or listen now and read the written guide later. For things on the desk, before we start, a Cympha account. You'll create it in a minute if you don't have one, and the key moment is picking designer on the role selection screen. Your lab manager's email. You'll look them up by email, so the system knows which lab you're joining, and it has to be exact. A Windows workstation. The desktop apps you'll design in are Windows only, and so is the Cympha Agent Manager that ferries files between Cympha and those apps. And whichever desktop app you actually design in, already installed and licensed. Ortho Plus for aligners and ortho, Implant Master for guides, Studio, or your lab's preferred tool for general design. Cympha doesn't ship those. They come from the Guide Mia site, gm.cympha.com, or from your lab's existing install. Step 1. Walk through the sign up at app.cympha.com, verify your email, and you land on the Select a Role screen. Pick Designer, enter your lab manager's email at the prompt, and click Find. Your account is created in a pending state. Here's what pending looks like so you don't think something is broken. A stripped-down sidebar with just Dashboard, My Team, My Cloud, and Downloads, plus a banner explaining you're waiting approval. You can't open cases, the queue is invisible to you, and you don't have a workspace yet. Meanwhile, your request has landed on your lab manager's team page, and when they click Approve, everything unlocks. Your pending role flips to Active Designer, the sidebar gains My Assignments, and you can start receiving cases. If a day passes with no approval, ping the manager directly. There's no auto-approval. Somebody at the lab has to vouch for you. Step 2 is the piece of software that makes the whole arrangement work, the Cympha Agent Manager. It moves files between Cympha, the web app where customers upload and approvals happen, and your desktop where you actually design. Open the Downloads page at app.cympha.com and click Download for Windows under the Cympha Agent Manager card. Run the installer. The defaults are fine. A small Cympha icon appears in your system tray, bottom right of the taskbar. Now pair it. Right-click the tray icon, click Pair to Cympha, and type your Cympha email. Then switch to your Signed in Browser tab and approve the pair request that appears there. The tray tooltip flips from not paired to paired, and from then on the agent runs quietly in the background. If any of that looks different on your machine, there's a dedicated Install in Pair guide in the docs with every dialog. One more step, and it's the one people skip and then wonder why nothing downloads. Give the agent a workspace. Pairing alone doesn't start file sync. Cloud monitoring is opt-in. Right-click the tray icon, open Cloud Monitoring, and click Configure Workspace. The dialog shows Not Set until you pick a folder, any folder you like. This is where your case files will live on this machine. The moment you choose one, monitoring starts automatically. There is no separate start switch. From then on, the agent pulls Cympha for cases assigned to you and downloads their files into that workspace folder without you touching anything. If you remember one thing from today, make it this. Paired plus workspace set equals a working pipeline. Paired with the workspace still reading not set equals silence. And it's the first thing to check whenever files don't arrive. Now you wait for the lab manager to assign you a case. And when they do, two things happen at once. The case appears on your My Assignments page. The header reads My Assignments. Subtitle cases assigned to you for processing, and the table shows patient, category, status, lab manager, created, and a chat icon. Your new case arrives with the status designing. And within a minute, the agent downloads the case's files into your workspace under a subfolder named after the patient, together with a lab slip PDF. That PDF is worth trusting. It's refreshed whenever the case data changes, so the copy on your disk is never stale. Click the patient name to open the case detail page. And before you open any design software, let's read the brief properly. That's the next slide. Give the case detail page a full minute. It repays it. The case parameters are what the doctor actually specified. Plan ranges, extractions, materials, anything category specific. The file section lists the raw scans the customer uploaded. The agent already has them on your disk. The activity log tells you the case's history, which is useful when a case bounced through intake review or carries a back-and-forth story. The lab slip consolidates the whole order into one PDF with a download button if you want a paper copy at the bench. And the case chat is shared between you, the lab manager, and the case's doctor. If anything in the brief is ambiguous, ask there now before you start designing. A question in chat costs a minute. A wrong assumption costs a design round. Time to design. Open File Explorer and go to your workspace folder. There's a subfolder named after the patient with everything the agent downloaded. Open the files in whichever desktop app the case calls for. Ortho Plus for AlignerBot, Clear Aligner, and Ortho Work. Implant Master for implant guides, Studio, or your lab's usual design tool for crowns, bridges, and general design. Then design exactly as you normally would. Cympha doesn't change your craft. It changes the logistics around it. While you work, the agent manager keeps watching the workspace folder and new files it finds that are queued against the case. Which raises the obvious question, what happens when you save your finished output into that folder? That's the next slide, and it contains the one rule worth memorizing on day one. Save your finished deliverable, an STL, a transfer pack, a review file, whatever the case's deliverable is, into the patient's workspace folder. What happens next depends on the file type, and this split is the rule to memorize. Design outputs saved as GVW review files or as zip archives upload automatically. No click needed. Most other file types wait for you. They sit in the agent's cloud monitor panel until you decide. Open it from the tray icon, Cloud Monitoring, then Show Panel, and pending files appear under New in Workspace, each with Upload and Ignore buttons, plus an Upload All. That pause is deliberate. You get to vet what goes to the cloud, so a half-finished export or a scratch file never leaks to the customer. Once a file uploads, it appears in the Files panel on the case detail page in your browser, and that's your confirmation the cloud has it. With the design uploaded, hand it back. Return to the case detail page in your browser and find a Request Approval button on the Actions row. It appears once you, the holder, have something to approve. Click it. The case status flips to Awaiting Approval, with a label matched to the category: Plan Approval Pending, Appliance Approval Pending, or Design Approval Pending. The customer gets an email with a link to the case's approval page, where they'll see the lab slip, the files, and 3 buttons: Approve, Request Changes, and Escalate to Lab Manager. The activity log records that approval was requested and for which step. And that's the end state of your first day. The case sits in awaiting approval. The customer holds it, and your part is done until they respond. What their response can look like is the last thing you need to know. 3 doors from here. They approve. The case flips to approved, but approved is a pivot, not a resting state. 4 digital delivery categories: Ortho, AlignerBot, Implant. The case auto advances immediately. Back to designing, still with you if another approval cycle remains. These categories have 2, Plan then Appliance, or to delivered on the final cycle with no manufacturing step. Physical lab service cases instead wait at approved until the lab moves them to in manufacturing. They request changes. The case bounces to changes requested, and the system keeps you as the holder, not a generic queue. So you read the doctor's note, redesign, and click Request Approval again. And they escalate. The case flips to escalated and transfers to the lab manager, who triages and either reassigns it back to you with notes or hand it to someone else. Now, one special rule to file away, because it shapes your whole second round on Aligner work. On AlignerBot cases specifically, customers cannot reject with free text. They have to attach a structured artifact, either an XML tooth position file, exported from Cympha Studio's 3-dimensional review, or a replacement transfer pack. If a doctor tries to type instructions instead, the system blocks the rejection outright and tells them to upload a structured artifact. So what comes back to you is a file you can actually feed to the planner, not a paragraph you have to interpret. The first day snags, in rough order of likelihood, starting with the 3 that stop work reaching you. 1. My assignments is empty, even though your lab manager says they assigned you a case. Confirm your role has actually been approved. That page only surfaces approved designer assignments by checking the badge next to your name on the team page. If you're still pending, nudge the manager. 2. The agent didn't download the files for your new case. Open the tray menu and check it reads paired. If it doesn't, repair using the agent install guide. Then check Cloud Monitoring. The workspace folder must be configured, and Configure Workspace still reads not set if it never was. Then give a minute, because the agent checks for new cases on a cycle rather than instantly. 3. You saved a file, and it isn't on Cympha. Most file types don't upload on their own. They wait for your click. Open the tray icon, Cloud Monitoring, Show Panel, look under New in Workspace, and hit Upload on the file. Only the GVW review files and zip design outputs go up by themselves. and 2 more on the way back out. A missing request approval button means one of 2 things. Either the case isn't in designing. Check the status badge, or you're no longer the current holder because the lab manager or an intaker reassigned it while you were working. The designer column on the queue or the activity log on the case page will tell you which. The last one is specific to aligner work, and it's worth knowing before it happens to you. Suppose an AlignerBot case comes back rejected with a note like, move tooth 16 buccally and nothing attached. Strictly, they shouldn't have been able to do that. Free text rejection is blocked on AlignerBot cases. But if it somehow slips through, do not try to apply the instruction by hand. Ping the customer in the case chat and ask them to upload an XML overlay or a replacement transfer pack instead. Free text instructions simply can't drive the Ortho Plus planner cascade. There's no English parser in it, so interpreting the pros yourself throws away the deterministic second round that makes aligner refinement work. And that's day 1. Approved, paired, workspace set, 1 case read, designed, uploaded, and handed back for approval. From tomorrow, it's the 2-minute loop. A case arrives, the files are already sitting on disk. You design in the tool you already know, save into the patient folder, and request approval from the browser. 2 follow-on lectures deepen that loop. Opening the case's studio project file to see the scene exactly as the doctor framed it, and handling a changes requested rejection for the day case comes back with feedback. Everything from today is written down at Cympha.com. Open the doc section and find a designer's first day on Cympha with the agent install guide link from it. If you want the rest of the series as it lands, subscribe. We're walking through every Cympha workflow, 1 lecture at a time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.